We've just reset the video. This is a new topic, so repeat your question again, please.
So say you've gotten past the first step of loving someone. So you know their ideals. What do you do now that you have that knowledge?
Okay. It's better to talk to people using a specific example.
Mhm.
It's easier to connect people when you are specific, not generic, practical, not theoretical.
Mhm.
So pick a fake name and bring up a person so that I can talk to you about this particular example.
This might add an extra dimension to what we're saying. But there's a friend of mine, Jason, who
Fake name?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So the way he tends to look at the world, politically especially, is really different from how I view it. But I know how he views it, and he knows how I view it.
Do you want to love him?
Yeah.
Okay. You want to love Jason?
Mhm.
Okay. Why do you want to love Jason?
Mm. Yes, and he's definitely been there for me quite a few times. In fact, he was the only one who actually wanted to join that one political club
Okay.
to start.
So,
Also, it's just a desire for connection on my part.
okay. So you want to have a relationship with Jason?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you know what a relationship is?
Well, I got an idea. Could you give me your definition? So that we're
That
on the
would be
same
too
page.
easy.
Oh, so you want so you
This is the reason why I told you it's very important, and that's why we restarted a new recording sessions, because this is going to add wings to your social power.
Yeah, so
What is a relationship?
um
Oh, by the way, I have the right to expect you to be able to answer all of these questions about various basic concepts in humanity, because you're not a kindergarten.
yeah.
You're a person who's about to graduate from an educational system that kept you in school for 12 years.
Yeah.
So it's not unfair for me to ask you, what is a relationship? And if you cannot answer this question, then you have to agree with me that our educational system sucks.
Well, I do agree with that. But that doesn't mean I don't know what a relationship is.
All right? Then
I
what is it?
I call it a significant connection of some sort, any kind, between two people.
Okay. So uh, you go to a store
Mm-hmm.
and you buy something from the storekeeper
Mm-hmm.
and you say, hello, how are you? And things like that. And you do that every day.
That's a relationship.
You think that that is a relationship?
I'd call it one.
Do other people agree with you? Do most people think that that is a relationship?
Well, most people would probably just reserve the term relationship for like being romantically involved with someone.
Relationship can be romantic or not.
I know,
It's
I know.
independent.
Yeah, I'd say it's a significant. Yeah, so I would call that a relationship.
Okay. Then you're telling me that when you have 50 names on your list in Facebook, you have 50 relationships.
It depends on who's on the list.
You interact with them on a regular basis, just like you do with this storekeeper.
Hmm.
I'm just trying to use your
I
definition.
know, I know. Well, if you do interact with them.
You do. On Facebook, you can interact with 50 people
Well,
on a regular basis.
well, if you actually do interact with all of those 50 people, then yeah, it's not like powerful. It doesn't affect your life much, but it is a connection between two people, which is more than.
But to most people, they don't consider those to be 50 relationships.
Hmm.
True or false?
Yeah, most people.
Therefore, your definition of a relationship is not applicable in every context.
Mhm.
And so that definition doesn't quite work. Try again.
Okay. It's kind of I'm trying to think of where to draw the line between just someone being just some person and someone being someone I have a relationship with. You know, would it start at regularly knowing someone or acquaintanceship or friendship?
Let me give you a hypothesis.
Okay.
What do you think of this theory? Almost, if not all, the good things in life are derived from relationships.
Hmm. I mean, most things in life are involved with relationships in some way. So, yeah.
Okay. Then do you agree that not having enough relationship may be a problem?
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Do you agree that having too many relationships can also be a problem?
If, um, if there, well, yeah, if there's a really high amount, then yeah.
Right. Therefore, you would also agree that it's necessary for us to know how many relationships we have.
Hmm.
So, relationship calculus is the topic. A relationship can be a shortcut for your ideals
Hmm.
or a roadblock. And if you don't do relationship calculus, and most people don't, I mean, without Thumoslang, you cannot do relationship calculus.
Hmm.
So that is the reason why this is so important.
Hmm.
You have to be able to count the number of relationships that you have in. And that's why the definition of relationship is paramount.
Hmm.
Relationship, that means ongoing relations.
Hmm.
Does that help?
I guess. Hmm. I mean, since we were saying how not enough relationships could be a problem, I doubt that talking to having 50 friends on Facebook that you interact with, or saying hi to a guy who works at a store every day would help with, say, if you were lonely. So I guess a better place to draw the line would be when you're close enough with someone that they provide some kind of support for you.
That can be a relation, not relationship.
So what's the difference?
Do you know what a relation is?
Well, probably different.
Explain your smile.
No, because
What were you thinking when you smiled like that?
your public school joke.
Ah,
Yeah, and also that just knowing that it's such a simple thing, yet I can't define it.
relation. That means purposeful involvement.
Mhm. Okay.
Involvement, that means cause and inclusion.
Mhm.
So you have to do things that would make me to be included in your activity
Mhm.
in order for you to have an involvement with me.
Mhm.
But if you want to have a relation with me, then that activity must serve a mutual purpose,
Yeah.
purposeful involvement.
So the difference between a relation and a relationship is that relationships are purposeful.
No.
No?
Relationship, that means ongoing relations. That means you need to have at least two relations. Two different activities for two different purposes, ongoing, in order for you to claim
Okay. So
relationship victory with me.
okay. So a relationship is a relation that's ongoing.
Two,
Two
minimum.
relations that are ongoing.
Yes.
Well,
Relationship, that means ongoing relations.
so by two, you mean
Minimum
like
two.
you mean like me to you, you to me,
No,
like with two people.
no. You and I go to school together.
Mm-hmm.
We have an educational relation.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
After school, you and I work at the same restaurant.
Mm-hmm.
We have a work relation. We would be in a relationship
I see.
since we have two ongoing relations.
Mm-hmm.
That's Thumoslang for you.
Yeah.
With that definition, how many relationships do you have now?
Huh. Well, let's see. I might forget to count a few people, but
Just pick one and give me a fake name and convince me that you have a relationship with that person.
okay. Many.
Okay? What is a relation with this person?
So, first one is I go to school with him.
Okay?
Yeah.
Second?
Second is that we spend time together outside of school. I think it was a week ago.
For what purpose?
Just as friends.
That's part of
Entertain.
education.
Well, how?
If I hang out with you at a football field
Mm-hmm.
and doing some sport activities for fun, that's part of my educational experience with
Yeah,
you.
but I'm saying outside of school.
You do the same thing outside of school, off campus. It doesn't mean that it's not part of your educational experience. The question is it for a different purpose than education?
Hello, hello.
Hey,
How's it going?
Hello.
Hey, sir.
Nom, Alec, Nom.
Alex.
Nice to meet you.
Hey, Dad. How are you?
I'm great.
Cool. You too. Hey, viewers. Hey, Alex. Hey, Nick. Norman here. Closer.
Explain your laugh.
Oh, it's funny that this is on video. It's just so random.
Random is random. Well, to continue this not so random topic of mine.
What happened there?
I mean, the main reason that humans laugh is because something unexpected happened. Which is
Okay.
what just happened. And this will look great on video too.
So what's so unexpected?
Well, I didn't even think someone. I thought, isn't there like another apartment connected to the same house?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was. I thought it was just someone over there
Oh,
doing
I
something.
see.
And then, and then, of all people, Noam comes in,
Okay.
and that's the first time I ever met him in person too.
Very good.
So what was the question? I was just thinking about it.
Relations.
Oh yeah. So how is my relationship? I mean, relation with Manny in school separate from
What is the second relation?
yeah.
What do you do that's outside of the rims of education
Well,
together?
how would you define the rims of education?
Romantic relations or co-working situation or work relation, uh, family relations, or non-educational relations.
Hmm.
So what is the second relation that you have with this person?
Would being part of a same circle of people be considered a second relation?
That's part of your educational experience or not?
Well, then I guess I don't have many relationships.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is why it's shocking to not most people, not almost all people, but 100% each and every person that encounters Thumoslang. It's a shocking experience for them because of this
Yeah.
topic. They have no idea that the reality of their social life is so vivid when they use Thumoslang for the first time ever. With Thumoslang, people can see the reality of their social life.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Huh. Not sure what I think. I mean, just because it's by definition, a relation in a relationship doesn't mean I consider him any less of a friend or anything.
Sure.
Yeah, yeah.
The question is, do you want to make it a relationship? And if you want to make it a relationship, add a new relation.
Yeah.
If you want to make a relationship stronger, add another relation, because the number of relations is the strength of the relationship. Because if one relation falls down, there are many others to keep the relationship going.
So,
for example, when you graduate,
yeah, I was
you
just
don't-
about to say that.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's why so many friend groups fall apart after graduation.
Thank you. And because people don't understand how to maintain their relationships, they don't realize that you cannot do anything about your relationship. The only thing that you can do is to add or subtract the number of relations you have in that relationship. What do you think of that knowledge?
I like it. Well, I'm thinking of ways that I could create more relationships. I don't have any ideas yet, but I'm gonna try to think of a few.
Okay. Why did I bring this up? Because only after you have a relationship do you ask the question of love. It doesn't make any sense for you to bring up love if you don't even know whether you have a relationship or not. Why? Because love is even harder than relationship. It takes two ongoing relations to make a relationship. But it takes even more than that for love to be expressed.
Is there a set in stone number?
What do you mean?
Like, is there, say, 9 relations you need to have love? Or...
No. Love is difficult not because you have more relations,
Yeah.
but love is difficult because you have to discharge all 4 elements of love
Yeah.
in each and every relation in the relationship.
That does sound really hard.
Yes, sir. And that's why nobody knew how to swing it until 2017. This is the first time humanity got relationship and love down to a science. What do you think?
A lot of this is just like, I don't feel like I've had to take much that I previously believed and change it. A lot of this just kind of like, almost like adding a second floor to a house, you know?
It's an upgrade.
Yeah.
It's like going from geometry to calculus.
Yeah. It's a lot like that.
Yes. You don't throw away addition, subtraction when you move on to higher level math. So the first step is to understand your ideals. The second step is to create relations in order to develop relationship.
Yeah.
Ideals, relationship. Before you mess around with love.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Sounds like a good sequence to follow.
So how did this sessions make you view of your current or past, in quote, relationships?
I definitely need to work on them. I thought I had them in check. Like, I think earlier, like, when I was sitting here, I was like, hey, I got a lot of stuff in order now.